Sorry, I got a bit excited there. So it's solo time on How to Play Guitar, and this is one of the coolest rhythmically offbeat kind of solos, because it just plays around with where the beat falls all the time. We're not going to hang around, we're going to get straight into this because I know you want to learn how Paul Kossoff actually does this thing. So we're down here on the G, using your second finger as a hammer-on, then you slide. So that's all quite straightforward, and then the next one is the same. Try and do that vibrato as well. Then you're up here on the fifth with the third finger, and then you hit the open string and let it ring for that second note, which is really cool, and it happens again later on. There's a slide up here again. Now you can do that with a second finger or a third finger. I think in this case the third finger is easier because you're so low down, you kind of need that extra space to stretch back. So slide up to the here on the 10th using that second finger. And this is rhythmically pretty tough because, yeah, it's this pattern. But you don't play the first note of what that pattern would be. So you kind of have to skip it with the rhythm. So it's like this. And then you do play the first note the second time. So let's just practice that. So back down to here. So these bits are actually not as hard as you might think. So it's a second finger and a hammer on with your first and third. Third finger and full bend with vibrato. Then the next time it comes around, you're doing the same pattern. So cool, this solo, isn't it? God, you forget how good it is. Now this is the hardest bit, I would say. This bend up. So how you achieve this effect is you play the 12th fret with your third finger, and then as you bend on the second beat, you play the open E, and you do that with a finger on the right hand. So and the first time it's played, there's no second pick. But I honestly prefer to hit that 10th fret. Same again. So that's how that's achieved. There's no other way of doing it really. Next up, you're up here on the 17th and another pattern. Now you can use your third finger or your fourth finger. Why I'm recommending the fourth finger, especially for the bend, is because when you're up here, when you're doing a 20th fret into the bend on the B string on the 20th fret, you can't swap your fingers quickly enough, so you have to do a fourth finger. So the first time it goes, so that's why you have to do the fourth and third finger in that arrangement there. And then the pattern comes round this kind of rotating 3-note pattern. So this thing again. It's the only way you can do properly without moving the finger over, and it doesn't really work. So just bear that in mind. You're coming down the second time round. And then you're back into our main riff, which is the outro, which we're just going to run through because there's only one tiny change. There's a missing note there, so that time it's played round. This is different. Like that. The other difference that comes, apart from the rhythmic similarities that we've had before, your other difference is that there's one extra note in the very late outro. That's the only extra note that you get, which is in bar 159 if you're looking for it. There it is there. But the rest of the outro is just a case of literally playing this pattern and then you've got this one. The last time it comes round as well, it's got a very final ending, which is like that version we just played there. And that's it. All right now from Free, with the Bad Company vocalist as well, Paul Rogers, and Paul Kossoff on guitar doing some really cool stuff. The hardest bit of that solo, I think, is up here on the fourth when you're doing this bend into that third finger. Now I've got really fat fingers, so I find it hard. It's actually easier if you tilt the guitar like this and you go for the solo like that. Still pretty tough though, so give that one a practice. You might want to just focus in on that moment, and also the fast notes here. Anyway, thanks for watching this series. Do check out some of the performances that we've got going on the channel as well. Some suggestions for our next track down below, please, and we'll see you next time.